Welcome everyone to today's presentation on sexual motivation. I am Dr. J. Rose and I'm from the Newport Mesa Unified School District. And before you ask, I have a PhD in sexual motivation, so I know what I'm talking about. To start off, we are going to talk about the physiology of sex and what that has to do with our presentation today. Now, there's something called the sexual response cycle that everyone goes through. It's grouped into not one, not two, not three, but 4 stages. That's right, 4 stages, okay? There's excitement, there's plateau, there's orgasm, and resolution. Now, there's also something else you guys should know about. It's called the refractory period, and that's basically the time between orgasms. Now, males, in this case, have a longer period of time before orgasms compared to females. Now, we're going to go over the 2 things men and women have that help contribute to their sexual characteristics. In women, it's called estrogen. They're female sex hormones, and they peak during ovulation, and they overall contribute to their sexual characteristics. Now, the next thing after the physiology of sex is now the psychology of sex. Now, many studies confirm that men become aroused when they see, hear, or read any erotic material. Now, we went over the physiology of sex, and next we're going to move on to the psychology of sex. Now, many studies confirm that men become aroused when they see, hear, or read erotic material. It has also been said that our brain is our most significant sex organ. Now, I'd also like to go over with you today why American teens have a higher rate of teen pregnancy than European teens. And this is because American teens usually have a lack of guidance, a lack of proper sexual education, and there's also stigma against teen sex culture in the United States. This is accompanied with more substance abuse among American teens and the common practice of not usually using protection. We also want to talk about sexual restraint because that is an issue in our country and in the world. Now, there are 4 predictors of sexual restraint, and they usually go along with high intelligence, religion, father presence, and participation of learning programs, like this one. Now, there is also another big topic that we have to go over, probably one of the biggest ones we're going to talk about today, and that is sexual orientation. Now, what is sexual orientation? Sexual orientation is the gender you're attracted to. You could be either straight or heterosexual, gay or homosexual, or bisexual, which means you combine the 2 and you like both. Now, it's more common than you think. Now, a lot of people wonder, what does it feel like being homosexual? Okay? Besides the attraction for your own gender, it feels like you're extremely isolated and not supported by your fellow peers. And unfortunately, a lot of people happen to deal with this. And I like to go to one of our students here, Ronald Manley. Now, in today's culture, we've come to accept homosexual people more than ever before, which is a good thing, because you should never feel that you have to be isolated or not supported by your peers. Now, today's psychologists have come around the fact that when someone is homosexual, it's pretty much impossible to change. It is truly who they are, and there's no point in trying it, even though there are therapies like gay conversion therapy, which don't even work. Now, some people report that when they are experiencing life as a homosexual, it can be quite hard. Now, we do have to talk about another topic, which is called pheromones, or scents that men and women both have. Now, when men smell women's scents, they were sexually aroused. And when gay men and women smell men's scents, they were also sexually aroused. This is just our body's natural way of giving off certain pheromones or smells to try to attract a mate. It's biological. Oh, well, hi again. Today, we're going to talk about the human sense of belonging and need to belong. Now, what is meant by the human need to belong? Well, in order to achieve emotional satisfaction, a human needs to belong to a certain group or culture that they can immerse themselves in. Now, there are a few different types of belongings that humans need in order to survive. Our ancestors had something called aiding survival, which they were put into societal groups that wound up helping them to survive with things like hunting and growing food.
J-Rose,
Yes.
that was ancient times. What about today?
Well, humans today have a wanting to belong, but in a much different way. Humans want to belong to certain groups for societal benefits, and to do this, they engage in things like dares. Well, we also have something called sustaining relationships, which are more for the emotional aspect of human life. These relationships help us when we are engaging with things such as loss and death. Well, there's also something called the pain of ostracism. Now, what is the pain of ostracism? This is the pain felt during social injury.